You had bacon this morning, maybe a ham sandwich for lunch. Somewhere in your fridge, there's probably pork in some form. You have eaten nearly every part of this animal: its meat, its fat, its skin, fried into crackling. But there's one thing you have never tasted. Not once. Not ever. Pig milk. And here's the part that should stop you. Pigs make more milk, richer milk, than almost any farm animal on Earth. So why isn't it in your fridge right now next to the cow's milk? Most people assume it's because pig milk is dangerous, or disgusting, or somehow unnatural. That's not it. Not even close. The real reason is stranger and a little more violent than you'd expect. This is the story of the one dairy product humanity walked right past. And by the end, you'll understand something about why we tame the animals we tame and why some things simply refuse to be tamed. So let's start with the obvious question. Can you even drink pig milk? Yes. It's completely safe. Not poisonous, not toxic, not some folktale substance that drives you insane, even though that myth has been floating around for centuries. Biologically, a pig is a mammal, just like a cow. Mammals make milk for their young. Pigs are no exception. So if it's safe, and pigs have been living beside humans for about 9,000 years, why has nobody built a pig dairy industry? Here's what's fascinating. The first problem isn't the milk, it's the body producing it. A cow has 4 teats. Simple. Predictable. Built for a machine to clamp onto and go to work. A sow has somewhere between 12 and 16, sometimes more. 2 long rows running down her belly. Imagine trying to design a machine for that. Every single teat would need its own suction point working in perfect sync. Nobody has built that machine. Not because it's impossible, because it's barely worth it. And that's only half the story. Because even if you solved the teat problem, you'd run straight into the clock. A cow lets down her milk for around 10 minutes at a time. 10 minutes of steady flow. Plenty of time to fill a bucket. A sow releases her milk for about 15 seconds. 15? That's it. Blink and you've missed the window. Farmers who've actually tried this describe it like a heist. You get one shot every couple of hours and then it's gone. So picture yourself there, crouched under a 250-pound animal, coffee cup in hand, because that's genuinely what some people have used. You have 15 seconds. You're not filling a bucket. You're catching drips. One farm in the Netherlands does this every 2 hours with 4 people working at once, and after all that effort, they collect about 100 milliliters. Less than half a cup, from 4 adults, working together, for 15 seconds of opportunity. But here's what's even stranger. The animal doesn't want to cooperate. At all. A dairy cow has been bred for generations to be calm around people, docile, practically domesticated into patience. A sow was never bred for that. She was bred to survive, to protect her piglets, and to see anything that gets close to her udder as a threat. Get within about 15 feet of a nursing sow, and she can rise up defensive, ready to charge. And a sow charging isn't like a goat kicking you. A goat might bruise you. A quarter-ton animal built like a battering ram will not. One chef, famous for experimenting with unusual ingredients, became obsessed with milking pigs for his restaurant. He tried the normal way, failed. So he got creative. He smeared pig manure on his own jacket, day after day, just to smell like one of them. Then he sat in the pigsty, waiting, until the sows grew used to his presence enough to fall asleep near him. Only then would he creep in and try to milk a sleeping sow before she woke up and panicked. That's not a farming technique. That's closer to trying to rob a bank that also happens to hate you. So what killed the idea of a pig dairy industry before it ever started? It wasn't just the 15 seconds, it wasn't just the aggression, it was the math. A dairy cow can produce around 65 pounds of milk a day. A sow, about 13. Roughly a fifth. And there's a cruel twist buried in pig biology. A sow cannot get pregnant again while she's still nursing a litter, which means every drop you take from her for cheese or for milk is a drop her own piglets don't get, and it delays the next generation. A cow dairy farm can run like a machine, generation after generation, without that conflict. A pig dairy farm fights its own biology at every step. But then here's the twist nobody expects. The milk itself is incredible. Genuinely. Pig milk carries roughly 8.5% fat compared to around 3.5% in cow's milk. More than double. It's richer in protein too. Denser. The kind of fat content that in almost any other dairy product would be considered a luxury. Chefs who've actually tasted it straight from the animal describe something warm, tart, almost fierce in flavor. Farmers who've turned it into cheese say it comes out saltier and creamier than anything made from cow's milk. In theory, pig cheese should be one of the finest things you've never heard of, and a handful of people have actually made it real. There's a small operation in the Netherlands where a farmer built his entire cheese business around this impossible animal. Every 2 hours, the window opens. 15, maybe 30 seconds. His team rushes in with cups because a milking machine simply doesn't exist for this job. It has never been profitable enough for anyone to invent one, so they do it by hand, cup by cup, the same way it's been done for centuries, on a tiny scale that will never appear on a supermarket shelf. Compare that to what's sitting in your fridge right now. That carton of cow's milk exists because of thousands of years of humans quietly selecting for one trait above almost everything else: calmness, cooperation, an animal that lets you walk up, sit down, and take what you need without a fight. We didn't just domesticate the cow's body, we domesticated its temperament. Pigs went a different direction. We bred them for meat, for litter size, for how fast they grow. Nobody was selecting the calmest, most patient sow for 20 generations in a row. So while the cow became an animal built to give, the pig stayed an animal built to guard. So here's the real answer, the one that isn't about danger or disgust at all. Pig milk isn't rejected because of what it is. It's rejected because of what it costs to take. 15 seconds, 12 to 16 teats, a quarter-ton mother who sees you as a threat, not a partner. Every single obstacle standing between you and that carton of pig milk isn't chemical. It's behavioral. It's the animal itself refusing the deal. And maybe that's the part worth sitting with. We like to think humans tamed the natural world. That given enough time, enough cleverness, enough machines, we could get anything we wanted from any animal on the planet. But the pig is still standing there. 9,000 years after we first brought it in from the wild, still guarding what's hers, still making us work for 15 seconds at a time. We didn't fail to drink pig milk because we couldn't figure it out. We fay. Because something on the other end of that transaction never agreed to it. And maybe that says something about you too, about how much of what surrounds you, the food on your plate, the animals in your fields, exists not just because humans decided it should, but because something else quietly allowed it. The cow said yes a long time ago. The pig never did.